Welcome to our deep dive this time on Requiem for a Dream.
Okay.
We're going to be looking at why this film is considered one of the most unsettling, but at the same time thought-provoking pieces of cinema out there.
Yeah.
And we've got this in-depth analysis that we're going to be looking at, and basically how it gets under your skin
Okay.
and how it's so much more than just drugs.
Right.
It's this look into the American dream.
Yeah.
And how we search for fulfillment in sometimes the most destructive ways.
You hit the nail on the head there.
Thanks.
What I find fascinating about Requiem for a Dream is how it really shows the underbelly of the American dream. It peels back that shiny surface and shows this darkness underneath.
Yeah. And right from the start,
Right.
we're introduced to these four characters: Harry, Marion, Tyrone, and Sarah, his mother.
Yes.
And each one of them is chasing a dream.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of clear that those dreams are illusions.
Right.
It's almost like they're traps.
Absolutely.
Fueled by this need for connection.
That's-
And they take these destructive paths to reach these dreams.
Yeah.
Harry and Marion are fixated on their boutique.
Yeah, they want to make it big.
Tyrone wants to escape poverty
Mm-hmm.
and kind of get that approval from his deceased mother.
Right.
And
Sarah wants to be on television.
she wants to be on TV.
Wants to be a star.
Wants to fit in that red dress.
Yes.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
You see how much she wants that recognition.
Desperately wants it.
But here's where it gets interesting and really unsettling.
Okay.
The way Requiem for a Dream is shot.
Visually.
It's like it's designed to pull you into this psychological turmoil,
Yeah.
that they're going through.
Yeah.
The director, Darren Aronofsky, uses these innovative techniques,
Mm-hmm.
like split screen,
Right.
but not in the traditional way.
Right.
He doesn't show different locations.
Yeah.
He uses it to emphasize the distance between characters
Yes.
who are in the same room.
Yeah.
So they might be physically close,
Yeah.
but emotionally they're a world apart.
Yeah.
A visual metaphor.
The powerful one.
Yeah.
And then there's the hip-hop montage.
Yes.
Rapid cuts, jarring close-ups, distorted sounds, all to mimic the feeling of a drug high.
Right.
And these montages become more frequent as the film goes on.
Exactly. And that's intentional. As the characters descend further into addiction,
Yeah.
they lose control. And the quick cuts, the chaotic visuals, and that hip-hop montage style reflect that fragmentation of their reality.
You are pulled into their headspace.
Yes, you experience.
As a viewer, it messes with your head.
Yeah.
And speaking of visual techniques that get under your skin, we have to talk about Sarah.
Yes.
The way they use these distorted wide-angle and fisheye lenses.
Right.
Which is brilliant because it mirrors her descent into psychosis.
Yeah, you feel as disoriented as she is.
Yeah.
And then there's that refrigerator, this everyday object
Right.
that's turned into this looming symbol of her anxieties.
It's so smart the way he does this stuff. It adds layers to the narrative.
And, Requiem for a Dream isn't just about drug addiction,
Right.
even though that's a central theme.
Yes.
It's about addiction in all its forms.
Yes.
You see it with Sarah and her dependence on diet pills.
Mm-hmm.
And addiction just as destructive as Harry's heroin use.
But it's seen as more acceptable.
But more acceptable?
Because it's sanctioned by society.
Yeah.
Even encouraged in some ways.
And her doctor prescribing those pills,
Yeah.
he becomes this legal drug dealer.
Yes.
Enabling her addiction under this guise of treatment.
Right.
It makes you think about how we view different types of addiction and how some are more acceptable than others.
It's really unsettling.
Yeah.
A reflection of societal double standards.
It is. And this ties into this broader critique of media and consumer culture.
Yes.
The film seems to be saying that these systems, they prey on our insecurities, our deepest desires.
Yeah.
They promise connection,
Right.
but deliver isolation.
Just like the television for Sarah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Sarah and that desire for connection, I'm fascinated by how the film uses mirrors
Yes.
to reveal so much about the characters' inner lives.
It's true. They're like windows into their souls.
Yeah.
You see Sarah fixated on her image. Tyrone looking for his mother's approval.
Yeah.
And Marion just gazing at this idealized version of herself.
It's as if they're all trapped
Yeah.
in their own little worlds,
Right.
consumed by these visions that they can't quite reach.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is that Harry,
Yes.
he never really looks in a mirror.
You're right.
He's always looking out the window.
Instead of looking inward, he's looking outward. Almost as if he believes that happiness is somewhere else.
Yeah.
Out there.
Yeah.
You know, in these relationships he forms.
Mm-hmm. It's a different kind of trap.
It is, but just as heartbreaking.
Yeah. And all of this plays out against this backdrop of seasonal decay.
Yes.
The film is structured like a requiem,
Right.
with 3 acts mirroring the seasons.
Summer, fall, and winter.
Summer, fall, and winter.
Right.
And it's not just a clever visual choice.
No, it's not.
It's this really powerful metaphor.
Each season reflects the character's internal states.
Mm-hmm.
And it really highlights that cyclical nature of addiction and loss.
Right.
So summer, you know, a time of ambition and hope.
Yeah.
Those dreams are burning bright.
Yeah.
But then as summer fades into fall, things start to unravel.
Yeah.
You know, decay sets in, and
Yeah.
by winter,
Yeah.
it's complete and utter devastation.
It's like watching a slow-motion car crash.
Yeah.
You can't look away.
You know it's coming, but you can't look away.
Right.
And that title, Requiem for a Dream,
Yes.
it's like it takes on this whole new meaning
Right.
when you think about it in the context of these seasons.
It does.
It's this lament.
Yes.
It's mourning for these lost hopes.
an aspiration.
Aspirations, yeah.
And it all ties back to that critique of the American dream.
Yeah.
This idea that chasing instant gratification,
Yeah.
material success, will somehow lead to happiness,
Yeah.
when in reality,
Yeah.
it often leaves you empty.
Empty. And it's like the film is asking us to look at what we value as a society.
It is.
Those quick fixes,
Right.
the shortcuts to happiness. Like, what are we truly seeking?
Yeah.
And at what cost?
It is a powerful message.
It is.
And it makes you think about the dreams we chase
Right.
in our own lives.
Yeah.
And, you know, whether they're truly leading us towards fulfillment or further down a path of isolation and despair.
Yeah. And this brings us to a really crucial point.
Okay.
If these characters were so desperate for connection,
Yeah.
were there healthier paths they could have chosen?
Yeah. That's a question worth pondering.
Yeah.
What if they had recognized those destructive patterns,
Uh-huh.
you know, sooner?
Yeah.
What if they had sought out, you know, genuine connection
Yeah.
instead of chasing those empty promises?
Yeah. It's a reminder
It is.
that sometimes the things we want most are right in front of us. That's right.
And that fulfillment
Yes.
often comes from within ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, through those meaningful relationships,
Absolutely.
it's not about external validation.
Right.
It's not about those hits of pleasure.
It's about something deeper.
Something deeper, yeah.
Something much more lasting.
Something much more lasting.
Requiem for a Dream is a film
Yeah.
that stays with you.
Yeah.
You know, long after you've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
The rawness, the unflinching portrayal of addiction,
Right.
the innovative visual style, that haunting score,
Mm-hmm.
it all combines to create this experience that's just unforgettable.
Yeah.
Even if it's not always easy to watch.
It punches you in the gut,
Right.
but in a way that makes you examine your own life.
Yes.
Your own
exactly.
choices.
Yeah, it makes you think.
It does. And that's the power of great art, right?
It challenges us, provokes us, maybe even pushes us to make some changes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So having taken this deep dive into Requiem for a Dream,
Yes.
what stands out to you the most?
You know, for me, I think it's the universality of the characters' struggles.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they might be extreme examples.
Yeah.
But that longing for connection,
Right.
that deep-seated need to find meaning in their lives.
Yeah.
You know, their vulnerability to these quick fixes
Yeah.
that promise so much but deliver so little.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are all things we can relate to.
It's like the film is holding up a mirror,
Yes.
not just to society, but to each of us.
To each of us individually.
Yeah, it's a cautionary tale,
It is.
showing us, you know, the dangers of chasing those empty dreams,
Right.
the pain of searching for fulfillment
In all the wrong places.
in all the wrong places.
Yes.
It reminds us to be mindful
It does.
of the dreams that we're chasing.
Of our own dreams, yeah.
You know?
Are they leading us toward genuine connection?
Yeah, are they leading us toward happiness, or are they pulling us,
Further into isolation.
yeah, and to remember that fulfillment,
Yeah.
you know, that lasting joy.
It rarely comes from external validation
It rarely comes from that.
or material possessions.
Yeah.
It's about cultivating
Inner peace.
inner peace,
Yeah.
finding our purpose,
And those meaningful connections.
and nurturing those connections
Yes.
with others.
Requiem for a Dream
Yeah.
doesn't offer any easy answers.
Mm.
It leaves you with unsettling questions.
Right.
The kind that linger, you know, long after the credits roll.
Uh-huh.
It asks, if these characters were so desperate for connection,
Mm-hmm.
what healthier paths could they have taken?
Right. What could they have done differently?
What can we learn
Yeah.
from their tragic mistakes?
It's a powerful reminder
It is.
to be kinder to ourselves.
Yes.
To recognize those destructive patterns
Yeah.
that we might fall into.
Absolutely.
And to, extend that compassion to others who might be struggling.
Beautifully said.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Requiem for a Dream.
It was a pleasure.
A film that will stay with you and challenge you.
And hopefully inspire you to reflect a little bit
Yeah.
on your own life and choices.
Until next time.